Hello everybody, welcome back. So I was hoping to have a little bit of a build sesh, as you can see. Actually this is really loud, I'm just going to back away from that a little bit as we're going 100 meters per second. It's kind of, can't hear myself think. Yeah, as you saw, we were kind of interrupted by a couple of Reavers. I didn't see them, I was concentrating on the design and figuring out what I was going to do with it, and all of a sudden, beep 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 beep, Reavers inbound. So as you saw, I just dived in, accelerated away, and we've got some distance on them. I did fire a decoy off in the vain hope that they would take it and not me, but that didn't really work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple of kilometers distance if I can, and then I'm going to fire another decoy slightly off to one side so that they hopefully can't shoot it as it goes past. But yeah, as you can see, I'm working on the hangar doors and had a bit of a problem matching the two sides, simply because the two sides are different. Obviously we don't have the recess on this side for the solar panels, so it took me a little while to figure that out, but I think I've got it now. I think that's as the same as it could be, let's call it that. So the idea is it's just going to be a fly-through hangar kind of thing, and I'm thinking of curving the roof a little bit here, as opposed to having that great big flat slab, because that would make an ideal sort of observation deck stroke bridge, which will give me a full all-round view of things such as that. Anyway, let's try another decoy at the risk of deafening myself. I was wondering why it didn't build it when I retracted it. Of course I forgot to switch the merge block back on, so that was my bad. Anywho, so let us face this away. So yeah, they are a good couple of kilometers away. There's a Berserker and the Slayer. So I'm kind of hoping if I fire this off over here somewhere, even though we're doing 100 meters per second, it should be out of their range, I think. So let's give that a try. So I'm going to quickly switch back to the camera so we can see it going off. Here we go. Actually, I'll leave that switched off for a minute. So we'll wait for the antenna to come on. It should be within their detector range. Is the antenna going to come on? There we go. Take the bait. The nice big juicy antenna over there. Much more of an attractive target than I am. No. So it's like 8 kilometers away now and they're only 2 kilometers away. So I think once they're locked on, they're pretty much locked on, unfortunately. And it's already out of range. Now, it's possible I could have been too far away. Let's try one more time. I don't want to waste too many components on this if it's just not going to work. Are we all built? I think we're all built. So again, just maybe won't fire it so far away from them. We'll just go down a little bit instead. Yeah, difficult to know the best place to fire it, but let's try somewhere around there. Come on, Antenna on, please. Oh, they shot it. They shot it, but they didn't take the bait. Okay, so that's not going to work, clearly. One of the things I had considered is I don't really want to always be running away from them, because obviously they have got ammo, which I need. I need ammo. But I haven't got any means to capture them, and I don't have enough ammo to fight them. So have we got 7 rounds? Maybe. They seem to be drifting off to one side, don't they? Bring them back more in the center, perhaps? I don't want to turn the ship too much, but they definitely seem to be off to one side and continuing to drift off to one side. That's very strange. If I line up with home... Yeah, they're way out there, aren't they? I'd have thought they would have been directly behind me, but they definitely don't seem to be. So yeah, what I could do with is some kind of, what should we call it, some kind of capture device. But anything I fire at them, they are going to just destroy completely. So I'm going to follow people's suggestions. Thank you very much for all your comments. And I'm going to put a bit of heavy armor around these hinges as best as I can. Be careful not to block the actual movement, but we can certainly put bits in the side there. And I would ultimately like to change that one in the middle, but that would mean redoing the hinge, and I really don't want to do that at the moment. So what I'm going to do is just pad it around there, just to stop any sort of stray shots. Kind of rather difficult to do this at this speed. Picked up 4 of them, so just chuck that in there, and then we are gaining on them, but we've got a drone facility ahead. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure I can actually put a block in there as well. But knowing my luck, it's probably going to interfere with something. But because that clears that row, I think we're okay to put a block in there. So that at least gives that some protection. I might expand it at some point, but yeah, this one's going to be a bit more tricky. Might be able to get like a half block in there. We'll worry about that another day. Anywho, I've got a choice here. I can slow down and try and pick them off again, or we can just keep on going and hope that they drop back. So for the time being, I'm just going to keep going and hope that they drop back, and then if they don't, we'll take the other option, obviously. Right, so I wanted to finish off this welding here because I don't really like having structures like this open to one simple bullet. And I'm not sure how we're going to end this bit yet, so just get this welded up. Obviously the hangar doors themselves take an awful lot of components, so I'll probably weld those up off camera. As you can see, yeah, quite a lot of stuff. I want to finish off the floor as well, but again I'll probably do that off camera. So meanwhile, I thought here, if I slope this sort of like a gentle slope inwards, I think there's a block we can use there, which is not on my hotbar, of course. So actually, did I put it on the other one? I did. Yeah, that one. We can use this weird shaped block here. We can then match that there and tail it off here should we wish to. So just do that for now, and then we'll have its buddy coming away on the inside just to make a sort of a rounded slope. And I'll do the same the other side. And I'm not sure if I want to go straight up there. I think for now we'll have to. And then this obviously is just going to carry on across. Got the camera there, so I'll have to leave that there for now. Yeah, and then this bit here I want to carry on the slope upwards to make a sort of a rounded sort of ceiling to the hangar, but also to get high enough that we've got, you know, a good sort of 2 blocks high or whatever living accommodations and things we want. And it also leaves me a nice large flat space here for more guns, but there's no point in doing that at the moment because I just don't have any magnesium. One of the reasons I was just kind of hoping to run away from these things. I think one of them has dropped off by the look of it. Yeah, I think the Berserker is going after something else. So we're just left with the Slayer. Maybe the Slayer will do the same thing? Is that too much to hope for, do you think? Wow, there's some loud noises coming from around there. I don't know what that is. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Let's get some juice first. Yeah, if we've only got the one to contend with, that's not so bad. I'm a little concerned as to why that won't reload, though. I would have thought it should... Oh, maybe it's 8 rounds and 1 in the barrel. Perhaps that's what that is. Alright, let's slow down a little bit. I think that's the other one there, so we've got to be a bit careful because he might well come after us as we slow down. We're not slowing down, are we? Okay, gonna have to switch my thrusters back on and put the inertial dampeners off, I think. So... yeah, that should work. Wrong one. That one we want. No. Come on, this one. Not the programmable. Oh. Heck. Just trying to drift it a little bit closer. Alright. Now we can slow down. Don't want to slow down too much, we won't be able to get out of its range again. Yeah, I'd really like to be able to capture these to get their resources, specifically ammo and therefore magnesium. But I really don't have a way of doing that at the moment. And it's kind of difficult to come up with a way when you're being chased by them. Another mayday. That's as far as my camera will zoom in, unfortunately. Can't make out any of the details on that at all. I'm straining to see, but I think, well, that's definitely a large thruster there. And I think last time I fired a shot just between those two there, between the ooh, okay. Wow. He's got some range. Yeah, shoot at me, would you? So his range is the same as ours, but he's chasing us. So I can fire at slightly greater range than him. I wonder if he hit anything important. Let's get him back in range again. So he started firing at about 1.5, 1.4, something like that. I think we can fire at about 1.8, maybe 1.9, because he's chasing us, so that's what we're going to do. I don't think that hit him at all. I think that exploded before it got to him. No, we didn't see any effects of our hit, did we? So I have to assume that's not hitting him. Well, that certainly hit him. Yep, that got rid of him. Okay. I didn't really stop because there's a very good chance the other one is going to be around. And honestly, those pieces are going to be flying at horrendous speed anyway. So I don't think there'd be much to be gained really. Is that the other one up there? Can we see? Actually, just before I do, let's switch front thrusters off. We'll put our dampeners back on. And then we'll go for, I don't know, that gun. No, that's not him. Surely he's not still flying. I'm sure that just must be debris going at the speed he was going at. Same as that piece there, just shrapnel, I think. I don't think we need to worry about those. Okay. Right, that brings me on to the next subject that I was going to talk about. Yeah, ammo. It's a kind of a good introduction to the problem there. So, I only have 14 Gatling gun rounds left now. I know the guns are loaded, but that's not going to last long. And we're getting through the railguns at a reasonable rate now. I don't really have anything else other than this stuff. Now, this is 5.56 NATO magazines, and as you may or may not know, you can't make it. You can't make it in here anymore. It's an old ammo. So if you can't make it, you can't disassemble it either. I don't know why that stopped making. Did we use up all of our ion? Oh, we did. Oops. Okay, we need some salvage. Yes. Anyway, as I was saying, this ammo only works in large grid interior turrets, as far as I'm aware. So what I was considering doing was making a small grid. Oh, we should check the damage as well, shouldn't we? Yeah, making a small grid ship. I'm going to loosely call it a ship. We don't seem to have any damage. But mounting a hinge or rotor on it with a small, a large grid interior turret on it. Now, I know that sounds daft, but if I could fire them off. Let's see if we can slow down a bit here. It does bring on all thrusters, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Yeah, if I could fire them off sort of in a way that they would take out the turrets on the Reavers. Even if they get destroyed in the process, like we can't use that ammo for anything else anyway, and I can't build proper ammo. I just don't have the magnesium for it. So if I could launch, you know, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 of these things with interior turrets on towards the Reavers that are chasing us, they might just take out the turrets. I could do with knowing whether you can set interior turrets to what they attack. I'm not sure you can. Let me just have a quick look. So, well, just for argument's sake, let's stick it there. Don't know which way that's facing. Probably completely the wrong direction. Doesn't matter, I just need to know, like, what options have we got on these turrets? So, aiming range is 600 meters. Obviously we don't really want idle movement on. We want meters on. Small ships, large ships, yes. Characters, no. Stations, no. Enemies, definitely. Ah, now here you go. See, if we set that to target weapons... Not too worried about target locking, but... we might be able to use that ammo in a way that would... do some good, as opposed to, you know, just wasting away. I can't break it down, I can't use it, I don't have a need for these interior turrets. Put that on so I can see the range of movement. I think that might work. I think that at least it would give us a fighting chance, because if we can take their turrets off, then we can hack them. So at least if I can make a safe approach, then we'd be able to get a hacking computer onto it and hack the whole ship. So that was what I was thinking. Now, whether it'll work or not, I don't know. And how we're going to do it, I don't know. Right, let me put those panels back up again. And did just see a Mayday flicker up, and we need steel, so that's probably good. Okay, so assuming that that plan is going to work, what we need, well, we need lots of things actually. What we need is, again, thank you for your suggestions, we need a blueprint. So I'm just going to take a blueprint of that, and we also need a name. We need a name for the ship, because I can't call it the ship. So I'm open to suggestions on a name. We could also do with the T-Bug here, and I did Control Shift B, so we should only have T-Bug itself and not the entire thing. Not worried about the constructor, that's an in-game asset anyway. And I did see it was 11 kilometers away, which is a bit far, but there is a Mayday somewhere. Didn't see where though. Yeah, so assuming that's a plan, how am I going to launch them? We've got this enormous area down here, which, as you see, I have now put interior, what they call floors, down here. There's some kind of a work area, and there is a proper steel layer underneath as well, so that gives it some protection. If we're being chased, I'm going to have to fire them out the back. And I don't have anywhere I can fire them out the back. The sides are taken up with solar panels. We do have this flat area here, but I was actually thinking of putting a long-range turret on there when we get a bit of magnesium, so I don't really want to use that bit. I think the question's going to be... I missed it again. How small can we make this thing, isn't it? If I build something on the back here, then we should be able to release it if needed, shouldn't we? So, thinking out loud, guys. Sorry if there's a lot of umming and ahhing going on, but sometimes you just have to and ah. It's a long way away. I don't think we'll bother with that. Alright, so put a small head on you. I'm going to build it up because obviously it's exposed here. I don't really need to, I only want it to convert, but... Okay, so we're going to lock that one. And then... So this thing's going to have some form of power. And it's going to have some form of getting hydrogen. Ooh, I didn't think about that. Because I don't want to use ions on this, it needs to be more maneuverable than that. Right, first things first. Let's get it up off there. And we want a small hydrogen tank. Don't think it really matters which way round. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Now, it's going to have a thruster at the back, but we also need to be able to connect it to plug it in. So I think maybe if we put that in there, then a thruster. Maybe a merge block there, and then a connector there. That kind of works. Now, how can we do this? Obviously we need thrusters in all directions. I could put an up thruster there. But I can't actually match it on the other side. I think it's probably better off to do it there, because we're going to have side thrusters anyway. So we've got a backwards thruster, and that'll be all directions except forwards. But we don't actually need a conveyor to go forwards, do we? Thinking that might work. Now I can protect this thruster if I give it, I think it's a 3-block gap. So that's going to be a solid block. Those we'll lose. So we're going to need some electronics in here, some logic and stuff. But we also need to convert that there's no point in conveying anything in because interior turrets don't have a conveyor port. Okay, let me build this up so that we can see what's going on. I can't get at the conveyor, I don't think. No. So I'm going to take that one off just while we weld up that. Yeah, so the idea is these are cheap and maneuverable throwaway items. That's essentially all they're there for. But whether they work or not, we'll find out, won't we? I'm tempted to put another one of these on here. But then I need a converter, then I need a gun. So, or should I put the gun on the front? Yeah, that looks more like it. But I still think that's going to get burnt by the thruster there. But we do have another position there that we could put the thruster in, so maybe try that. Put that there, that gives us an extra block here and a bit more clearance, so let me try see if we can get that to line up. Unfortunately it means blueprinting it and then obviously welding it is going to be problematical. Somehow I have to line that up and then just go to a spare toolbar and we've got rotor, and I'm assuming it's that one, so we want to attach. Preferably without bumping it 3,000 miles away. Not attached yet. Still detached. Still detached. I don't want to go too far because I've only just got to bump it and it's going to go flying off into space. Ah, I think I saw that go. Yes, okay. Alright, so that's now all part of the same. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to connect onto that. Not that I particularly need to, but I was going to put the thruster on the front, wasn't I? So let me just check. Oh, you can. Okay. But I still think I'm going to put it underneath. Should I use a pipe? One and one. Ooh, that's a lot cheaper than, yeah, one motor, but you've got, yeah, I suppose it's only steel, isn't it? I'm just thinking it's easier to put armor plating on these things. there. We don't really need... We don't need that to be rotatable at all. Yeah, right. So, how's this thing going to fly? Well, one of the first things it needs if it's going to fly is a gyro. So, I can fit that in just there. Then it's going to need some electronics. Now, I don't know a safe place really to put this, but I'm assuming behind that large grid block there, that's got far more components in than anything else, so I'm assuming that's a safe place to put electronics. So what electronics are we going to need? Well, we are going to need probably an event controller, so that when the merge block is disconnected, off it goes, in the same way as we did with the other one. So I think we've put that there. We're also going to need yeah, probably lots of timer blocks. Where am I looking? Don't think we've got it. Yeah, we're going to need a move controller. I think a basic task would be sufficient. That's which way these go, does it? Oh. I was kind of hoping you'd go in there. Where are we? You're already fully extended, huh? Okay, so that's a no-go then. Well, we're going to have room at the sides here, aren't we? So we can bring the armor down a bit. So, yeah, let's go for a basic task on that side. We want an offensive combat block on that side, or at least we would if we had some stuff. No, I don't want all that. Small grid, you fool, small grid. Probably not a good idea putting it right next to the thrusters, but hey, we're a bit limited on space. So we got move, gyro, basic task, offensive, that can lock on to the target. We're probably going to need some timers. Yeah, because the event controller can do quite a lot, but I'm not sure it can do everything we need it to do. Yeah, I definitely think we're going to need a timer. We don't need defensive. it ain't going to be returning. Once it's fired, it's just going to be a lost cause. So let's go back to here. Yeah, I'm just going to put the one timer on in case we need it. But we are definitely going to need a battery. Just a little one. Okay, I'm going to get that welded up, and then let's see how that looks regarding putting armor on. So I realize of course this is quite an investment in terms of, you know, resources, but they're all basic resources that we're getting anyway off the salvage. There's nothing like platinum or gold involved on this. But I am a bit worried that one thruster is not going to be enough, given that we're carrying a large grid around. I think we'll only be able to find that out by trial and error. So how can we armor this thing up without putting too much weight on it? And the bottom is fine apart from that. This is all very exposed, but I don't know that I can actually build up to that. Can we put blocks in there? We can. Is there any point in doing heavy armor? I think there is. And the reason I say I think there is because I'm going to tell it to sort of be maintain a distance from target, or circling the target maybe. Yeah, that's very much going to depend on how we program it, but I think this will work. So can't put one there, unfortunately. It's a bit of a shame. That would have been good to give the thruster some protection, which is kind of why I wanted it at the back, but that's not going to happen now, is it? So mustn't cry about what we can't change. Just do those two in heavy. And we go up quite high here, so we're going to have to think of something different to do there.
Energy low.
Okay, we'll swap to light armor for this. Yeah, we might as well carry on the stupid looking round blocks, just to finish the end off here. Like so. I think we're going to probably, yeah, that can be a round one, but then we're going to do something different here. So again, I think I might go heavy armor on the front one. Just to help deflect any bullets. Just give the gyro a bit of protection at least. And no, that's not going to let us put a block in there at all, is it? that's a shame. That would have been a nice block to put in there. But it will let us put that one in, which at least is some protection. Yeah, just try adding, take that up as far as we can go. Then let's see. Aha! And what about that one?
Energy critical.
Yeah, I think that's probably pushing it. That one's okay though. Right, let me get some energies. And I think we can probably actually just start moving a little bit now as well. Get rid of that. Keep on trucking. Okay, so back to where we were then. We'll go with heavy armor on those two as well. Now the reason I'm going heavy armor, by the way, is because I want these things to be able to take a bit of a beating. Oh, we need some stuff, don't we? Yeah, I want them to have a bit of longevity, long enough to be able to use up all the ammo that I'm going to put into them, which won't be much, but I don't want them just to get shot out the sky the minute they get anywhere near the thing. Right, so we'll finish off the back afterwards. So the next thing then is the payload, which of course is the whole point. And I can still never remember which way around these things go. Is it that way? Yay, got it right. Okay, so we want to set that up. So, yeah, I think I know it's not very accurate at 600 meters, but every bullet we can get to hit the target is a bonus. That's what I'm thinking. So, they're going to be small ships and large ships. Not going to bother with stations, enemies of course. We're not going to be controlling the block, so I don't need that on, but we just want to take out weapons. That's the sole purpose of this gun. Okay, that's all we need of that. And then ammo wise, I'll have to check. 384 litres, that's quite a lot of ammo. Now we're not going to be putting that much in it because it just won't last long enough to fire it all. But, like I say, the plan is there's going to be, like, you know, at least 4 of these being fired off towards a Reaver that's trailing us. And then at some point I will build a special one that doesn't have this malarkey on the front of it. It just has a hacking chip and a mag plate, and once we're confident that the guns are at least somewhat safe, then we're going to have a go to see if we can get to attach a hacking chip to it. At least that's the plan. Right, so here we're just going to go back with that. I guess just bring that down like that. like so. And I mean, these all have one steel plate in them, so this is kind of a moot point. You know, which block to use. You're not going to save any weight. So, and then here we're actually going to have a couple of spare blocks, which means I can add to it if I should feel the need to. I think here I'm actually going to use one of those. Kind of almost marries up to a circle. And then here we can just go back to our little triangle things. Again, it's not going to protect much, but it might just help a little bit. Right, these I'm going to cover up. I think I'm actually tempted to use heavy armor for these, just so that, you know, they got that little bit extra. I don't have a heavy armor one of those. You know, the last thing you want is like a stray shot taking out like the battery or something important, and before you know it you're dead in the water. But I will leave those two blocks there because I'm bound to have forgotten something. I'm going to set it up when it's disconnected from the ship so that there's no confusion, and I'm also going to set it up without using groups because we want multiples of these. So like if you use a group, then if you have several the same off the same blueprint, they all interact with each other, so I won't be using groups. But I am going to have to come to a halt again to do this. So, and we also need to drop that back down again. I don't know how far we... Oh, now it started bending at that point there. Just to avoid clang, I'll leave it there.
Energy low.
Yeah, so I can't use this one, it's got no hydrogen in it and no way of generating it. So all I'll do is disconnect it from there, set it up, and then take a blueprint, and I'll probably repaint it at that moment in time as well. But I don't need to do that just yet. Yeah, so that's one thing sorted. Right, back to this thing. As you can see, I got a lot of welding to do. I'll do between recordings, just get all those doors and things welded up. But what I do want to do is to try and come up with some kind of a cockpit that's not one of those. So we're going to be carrying on that line. No, I don't think we need that there now. Just ditch those. Yeah, going to carry on that conveyor line along the ceiling, and that will obviously feed whatever I decide to put up here. I haven't actually decided what to put up here yet, because I'm like that. I'm making it up as I go along. Yeah. I'm not sure above the hangar is really the best place for a cockpit, but maybe some kind of living quarters that leads into a cockpit further forwards. Not sure about that. Anyway, for now I'm going to carry on that curve. Yeah, we are running out of steel. So, gonna keeping my eye open for some salvage along the way. But, Alright, so we're kind of out of steel. I don't want to use every last bit that I've got because we might need it for other things like repairs, for example. So last things last, I guess. That's the way things normally work, isn't it? I'm not using this turret controller, but I'm going to leave it there for now. Obviously the one that's on the thing itself is working much better, but I might have a use for that later on, so I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm a little bit worried these thrusters are only held on by one block, but they are fairly well hidden. So the only other thing I can think of that I would really benefit from on here, apart from probably a whole load more batteries, is some kind of early warning system. And some lights. So you can do an early warning system in a number of different ways. The problem with them is that the maximum range you get on them is, I think it's 2.5 kilometers. And by the time a Reaver comes within 2.5 kilometers of me, I'm already in trouble. But there's no way of increasing that range, to my knowledge, at least. So I don't want to block anything off or clog anything up. So I think the best place to put it just for now is here. So what we're going to do is put in a where did I put it? A defensive controller. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, it's really a bad place for it, but it'll do. It's kind of difficult to... Ooh, we have detector components. We are. Kind of difficult to explain how this is going to work, so I think I'd rather just show you.
Energy low.
Yeah. I saw a red thing. Right, I'm going to do this in red as well. Okay, so we want to defend against enemies, obviously. I'm only interested in them if they've got weapons. I'm not interested in being notified if they haven't, because if I'm bringing stuff back, to salvage it, I will already have disabled their weapons. So I'm going to leave lock target on. Obviously we don't want to target characters. We're not going to flee, so we're not interested in all of that. We don't want evasive maneuvers. So you say, well, what's the point of it then? Well, you can set up the actions, in this case what happens when it detects a target and what happens when it doesn't. So the best way to use this is in conjunction with a timer, for instance. So enemy detected, you start the timer. Enemy no longer there, you stop the timer. But in my experience, that doesn't really always work. There are times when it just doesn't work. Yeah, I don't know why, but anyway, what'll happen is it will switch the AI behavior on. In fact, we can do that. So it's continuously searching for enemies, and in doing so, when it finds one, it will lock onto the target. So you don't really need to set up any actions here, because we can set up an event controller, which is going to be next. No, it's not on that one. It's on that one.
Energy critical.
Is it? Yeah, event controller. do that one on the side as well so we can actually access it. And we need some bits. Yeah, I'm going to put it on the top, I think. We're going to call this early warning. And the event we want to detect is somewhere on here. If I could find it. Where am I looking? Where am I looking? Right, block switched on or off. That's the one I was looking for. Okay, so I'm not going to tell it what block because there's nothing out there at the moment, but here you can tell it what you want it to do when it detects that block is switched on, and you can see you've got 9 hotbars for on and off, as opposed to this thing, which only has on and off on one bar. Okay, so how does that help us? Well, it helps us because if I could find the right buttons, somewhere we have... Where the heck is it? I know I must have had it at some point. There. What we can do is we can put a little light up. I'm just going to use... Where is it? There. Just going to use a basic one for now. In fact, we put 2. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 in. 1, 2, 3, 4 in. I think that's right. Okay, so we're going to put the radius on that up to maximum, and we're going to change the color to a nice bright in-your-face red. No, not purple. Red. Set a blink interval that makes everybody feel absolutely horrible. Maybe 1.5, something like that. And blink length, maybe just a little bit longer, just so that we get a proper chance to see it. And then lastly, we're going to switch it off. So we'll call that alert light, and copy that. Do the same to that one. Okay, now you say, well, we've got 2 lights, but you said we could only control one thing. Well, that doesn't matter. We only need to control one thing, and it really doesn't matter which one thing we control. So back to this thing then, we say setup actions. We find, well, there it is, alert light, doesn't matter which one. And we say when you detect a target, you switch the alert light on. And when the target's no longer there, you switch it off. Simple as that. And then in your event controller, you say, okay, block switched on or off, and we want the first, where are we? The first alert light. The first one we place will be the top one, so and the same in the menu, so we're going to choose that one. I'm just going to prove that to you actually, because you don't need to take my word for it. If I rename that to 1, and we don't need to do the other one. Drone facility. Yeah, so if you see here, setup actions, we're going to be switching on alert light 1, switching off alert light 1, and then we go into here, block switched on is not the right one. Okay, good job we checked. Okay, so it's that one we want. So I was right about the first bit, but wrong about the second bit. As usual, always better to check. Right, so in the actions then, you've now got a whole plethora of things, and the first thing we want to do, obviously, is we want to switch on the other alert light, because that's alert light 1. This is the one we didn't name, so this is the one that's not actually yet connected. And then on your second hotbar, then you can switch your guns on, or whatever it is you want to do. Maybe send off a whoop 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 alarm. I haven't got anything I can do at the moment, so that I've got nothing to do, but I just thought I would demonstrate that to you. And it is something that we're going to need. That's very close. Is it worth attempting to shoot that, do you think? It will have decent loot on it, I think. I think I'm right in saying. Where are we? Got lots of guns by the look of it. And being a drone facility, it's probably going to launch drones at us. But I do need stuff. This is risky. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and put it behind me. So we want to kind of go over there so that I can use my ship's railguns as opposed to my little ship. And that way, if it does launch drones at me, at least we can be, somewhat ready for them. So difficult to see which way I'm actually drifting at the moment. There you go. So you can see my red flashing light is kicked off, which is an indication that an enemy has been detected. Okay, just gonna come to a bit of a slower pace here. Now remember, if this thing fires a multitude of drones at us, we're kind of screwed, because I don't have much ammo. So we might end up having to run away anyway. We're actually a bit close to it there. Oh, okay. What's going on there? Excuse me? What? Oh, we're being shot. I didn't see any incoming fire at all from it. That was mean. Broke all my solar panels. I just saw smoke appear. I didn't see any incoming fire. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just blind. Oh well, more damage to repair. Let's hope it was worth it. So yeah, what I wanted to do was to get it in a position where, if necessary, I can use the rail guns on the back of the ship. Okay. Yeah, they broke that, didn't they? Unfortunately, because these blocks are all distorted, it's now got collision. Yeah. Let me get some steel. Let's see what we can see out the back here, shall we? Where's he gone? There it is. Okay. I see a gun down there. I don't really want to damage the guns, that's the point. I kind of need what they've got. I wonder if I could just shoot it off. Yeah, too far back. Because we are quite close by normal standards. Come on, reload. Thank you. Kind of want to take that block off there. Well, something's on fire. Is that an interior turret on the bottom? I think it is. That's another gun up there. Can't see that one. Okay, that's a lot of smoke. And the gun has vanished. Can't tell, but I think that might be another interior turret on there. I think that one is now disconnected because it's giving me a different targeting reticule for that one. So, what other guns have we got? I also think it might be a good idea to take that antenna out if I can hit it. I don't know if it's a drone facility. I don't know if it maybe would use the antenna. Is that damaged? Can't see any smoke or flames or anything. We'll have to assume it is. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit that gun. So I think the best thing is we'll go for a walkabout and we'll see if there are any more guns underneath it. Alright, wish me luck. Gonna go underneath. Yeah, as I suspected, that's just floating. Yeah, might as well have it. Unfortunately, I did damage that thruster, which is a shame. Whether there's anything hideous inside it. But we're not being shot. So, I think if we bring the hacking computer over and slap it on here somewhere, we may be able to get some stuff out of it. I think just anywhere around there will do. Oops, down a bit. Okay, so mining transport, that's perfectly safe. Alright, and we start the long and arduous hacking process. So, I'm actually going to make a GPS here. Just call it T-Bug. And the reason I'm going to do that is because if we have to run away, here's my ship, and leave that ship there, I would kind of like to be able to come back for it. But yeah, we'll just leave that hack and hope that no Reavers come and attack us. Anyhow, I've got a bit of repairs to do and some blueprints to take and some projectors to make. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm kind of all out of time again. Seems to be a regular occurrence, but it's been fun. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for all the comments. I really appreciate the comments and suggestions. I can't think of everything, and you guys are marvellous. You seem to come up with ideas that I just don't think of. So thank you for that. Meanwhile, take care of yourselves. Hopefully, I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye now.